Students, welcome to the biology class. Today we are going to discuss Mendel's law of inheritance. In our previous session we discussed about the Mendel's observation and the monohybrid cross, in which we discussed about the phenotypic and genotypic ratios. With the help of that cross, we have explained the two laws, that is the law of dominance and law of segregation. And now that is what is the definition and what is ultimately the Mendel state about these laws. So today we are going to start with our Mendel's law of inheritance. So based on his hybridization experiment, in which the Mendel selected the garden pea and taken the character as a stem height and cross between the pure tall and the pure dwarf, in the F1 generation we get only the tall plant, and in the F2 generations we are having the phenotypically 3 tall and 1 dwarf, and genotypically we are having a pure tall hybrid and one is your pure dwarf. So with this we have the law of dominance, that is the first law which is being stated by the Mendel, and that law states that when two alternative forms of a trait, or you can say when two contrasting traits or the characters or the genes which are alleles to each other are present in an organism, for example tall and dwarf, only one factor expresses itself in F1 progeny or in the F1 generation, and that factor is known as dominant, while the other that remains masked or concealed or unexpressed is known as recessive. So in the monohybrid cross, for example, the tall is a dominant character which expresses itself in the F1 generation, whereas the dwarf is a recessive because it remains concealed in the F1 generation. The characters are controlled by the discrete units, that is called as the factors, and they occurs in the pair, that is capital T, small t and small t. Now second law which is being observed by or stated by the Mendel after the monohybrid cross is the law of segregation. So this law states that the factors or the alleles of the pair segregates from each other during the gamete formation, means capital T small t or capital T or small t, they get segregate during the gamete formation, as we have shown during the formation of the gamete, that we will get haploid gamete or one type of the gametes. Such gametes are receive only one of the two factors, either tall or that is a recessive. So it do not show any blending, there is no mixing. That is means one is dominant, another is recessive, but doesn't mean they are being mixed with each other, they are being blended with each other. One is expressive and one is unexpressed. Homozygous parents produce all gametes that are similar, and the heterozygous, they produce two types of gamete, capital T and small t, and each having one allele in the equal proportion, and during the fusion they will form all that particular progeny which are present in the parents as well as in the F1 generation. So after the discussion of the law of dominance and law of segregation, in which we have explained with the help of a monohybrid cross, now first we are taking the dihybrid cross, and then we will discuss our third law of inheritance given by the Mendel, that is the law of independent assortment. So in the dihybrid cross we have taken the two characters, that is the round and yellow seeds, means we have taken two character, means the shape of seed and the color of the seed, and the trait is round, wrinkle, yellow and green, means the expression of the character is the trait. So what is the character? That is the seed shape and the seed color. And what is the trait? That is the round yellow wrinkled green. That is your phenotypic, that is, and the genotypically capital R, capital Y, and here we are having a small r, and that is small y and small y. This is a genotypic. This is a pure round yellow seed. This is a pure wrinkled green seed, because they are the homozygous, so they will have a one type of gametes. Number is many, but the type is one only. And when they go with the cross pollination, so in F1 generation, they shows all the progeny of F1 generation is round yellow, because round and yellow, they are the dominant traits, and wrinkled and the green, they are the recessive trait. They remains unexpressed. And on self pollination, we will get 4 types of gametes. So we are having the 4 types of gametes, that is capital R, capital Y, small r, small y, capital R, small y, small r, small y. So with the 4 and 4, that is your female and this is your male, and the result is being given on the checkerboard, which is called as the Punnett square, when they are going to be fused with each other. So we are getting the 16 progenies. 4 into 4 is 16. So what is there? That is when this R and this R, that is going to be fused with each other. So this and this, they are going to fuse. They will form this progeny. Fine. So when this R and this R, they are fused, so they will form the another progeny. In this way, they are getting the 16 progenies. And when we have the genotypic or phenotypic ratio, but in the dihybrid cross, we are having only the dihybrid ratio, no phenotypic and no genotypic. So if I want to know the round yellow seed, so first I am going to count the round yellow seed. That is, this is round yellow. So this is round yellow, this is round yellow, because they are having a capital R and capital Y. So this is again capital R, capital Y, round yellow, this is round yellow, this is round yellow, and no, this is not round yellow, this is round yellow, and now we are having this is round yellow, this is round yellow, this is round yellow. So how many round yellows are there? So with the different colors we will see. This is round yellow 1, 2, 3, this is 4 round yellow, this is 5 round yellow, this is 6 round yellow, and we are having another, this is your 7 round yellow, this is your 8 round yellow, this is your 9 round yellow. So these are the 9 round yellow. Why? Because they are having a 1 capital R and 1 capital Y, whereas the round and yellow with a capital means they are dominant. So we are having a 9 round yellow. Now the next we will have a round green. So we have to now search out the round green. So this is your first round green, capital R but small y, and this is again your green. Fine. And the next one is this one. So these 3 are your round green. 9 is round yellow and 3 is round green. Now we are having a wrinkled yellow. So we will have a wrinkled yellow. This is number 1. This is your wrinkled yellow. So this is your wrinkled yellow. That is your number 1. This is your wrinkled yellow. And because small r and capital Y, this is number 2. That is your wrinkled yellow. And this is capital number 3. That is your wrinkled yellow. Fine. So, and the last we are left out with your wrinkled green, and this is only one, which is your wrinkled green. So what will be the ratio then? They said that we are having a 9 round yellow, 3 round greens, 3 wrinkled yellow and 1 wrinkled green. This is our phenotypic ratio as well as our dihybrid ratio. So the result of dihybrid cross where the two parents different in two pairs of contrasting, that is seed color and seed shape, shows the phenotypic ratio or the dihybrid ratio, that is 9:3, 3:1. This is very important. So here that is the ratio is 9:3:1 can be derived. So it can be derived as a combination of the ratio of two monohybrid cross, that is 3 round 1 wrinkled, 3 yellow 1 green, 9 round 3 wrinkled yellow, 3 round green and 1 wrinkled green. But in this particular ratio, what we have to observe, that round yellow and wrinkled green, they are our parent generations, as well as in our F1 generation the progeny is of your round yellow. So now the question is, from where that particular two more combinations are there, that is round green and wrinkled yellow. So they said that during the gamete formation, when they are being segregated and randomly they fuse with each other, they may form some new combinations, and these two new combinations in this ratio is being expressed as round green and the wrinkled yellow. So what does this, now the law which is being there, that is known as the law which we are discussing now is our law of independent assortment. So now with this dihybrid cross, the Mendel has stated the another law, that is a law of independent assortment. According to this law, two factors of each character assort or separate out independent of the factor of other character. Yellow wrinkle, they will separate. Green wrinkle, they are going to be separate at the time of gamete formation and get them randomly rearranged or fused or fertilized in offspring, producing both paternal is round yellow, wrinkled green, and new combination, that is your round green and wrinkled yellow. So when two hybrids of traits are combined in hybrid, segregation of one pair of the character is independent of the other pair of the character. So with this we have discussed the three laws of the Mendel, that is the law of dominance, in which only one character, that is going to express itself in the F1 generation. Law of segregation, in which there is a segregation at the time of the gametes and then they fuse to form the phenotypic and the genotypic ratio. And the law of independent assortment with the dihybrid cross, in which the parental as well as the new characters are being formed when during the gamete formation they are being separated and get randomly fused. Now we will going to discuss some phenomena or the laws which are not going to obey the Mendel's law, or they are little bit deviated from the Mendel's law, that is of the monohybrid ratio. So the first such phenomena is incomplete dominance. So what is the incomplete dominance? It is the phenomena in which the F1 exhibit the characters intermediate of the parental genes. So what is this? This is seen only in one particular flower, that is your 4 o'clock flower, or you can say the Mirabilis jalapa or Antirrhinum majus. So that is the snapdragon. So we are having a flower in which the flower color is white and red, and the red is dominant over the white. So red color flower that is crossed with the white color flower, and in the F1 generation, according to the Mendel, it should be red because red is dominant. But here the color of the flower in the F1 generation is pink. And when that pink flowers, they are going to be self-pollinated, then we can see both the red flowers and the white flowers along with the pink flowers. So the pink is the intermediate color of the parental combinations of the parental genes. So what this phenomena known as incomplete dominance. So what is the incomplete dominance? Incomplete dominance when neither of the two alleles of the gene, that is red and white, is completely dominant over the other. Or you can say when the two alleles of a gene partially express themselves. Both the genes, they are partially or incompletely, they are expressing themselves in the F1 generation. The phenomena is called as incomplete dominance. So in the incomplete dominance, both the genotypic and the phenotypic ratio, they are the same, that is 1:2:1, which is basically the genotypic ratio of Mendel's law of segregation or during the monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross in Snapdragon, where the one allele is incompletely dominant over the another, the phenomena is known as incomplete dominance, in which either of the two alleles, they are partially expressing themselves. So this is known as incomplete dominance. So opposite to that, we are having one more phenomena that is known as the codominance. As the name indicates, the codominance is the phenomena when two alleles of the gene are equally dominant, in which both the genes, they are expressing themselves completely. So what is the difference between dominant? In dominance, only one gene is expressing. In incomplete dominance, both the genes are partially expressing, and in codominance, both the genes are completely expressing. So this is very important question. What is the difference between dominance, incomplete dominance and codominance? So the alleles which are able to express themselves independently even when present together are called codominant alleles, and that phenomena is known as codominance. And we are having a very important example, that is the human blood group, ABO blood groups controlled by gene I, and gene I has three alleles, that is IA, IB, IO, or it may be expressed as small I, which is recessive. IA and IB, they are dominant. So the another name of the codominance is your multiple allele. So that is also being known as your multiple allelism, when the gene exists in more than two allelic form. So the gene I is existing more than two forms, that is capital A, B and small I, or it may be an O. So if that particular, they said that the IA and IB produce RBC surface antigen, which are sugar polymers of A and B respectively, whereas I, they does not produce any antigen. So IA and IB are dominant over the small I. Okay? Hence A and B are dominant allele and small I is recessive alleles. For example, they are in the heterozygous form and they are being known as A and B blood group only. Because A and B, they are dominant, so the name is being given as A and the B blood group. So when IA and B are present together, then both are expressed equally, and then the name is known as AB blood group, and hence this shows the codominance. So this is where A and B, if they are present together and both are expressing themselves completely, the word is completely, so then they are known as the phenomena that is the codominance. Since the humans are diploid, each person possesses 2 of 3 alleles, resulting into 6 different genotypes combinations and 4 phenotype expression. Because in human population we are having only 4 types of the blood group, that is your A blood group, that is your AB blood group, B and O. So this is a phenotypes, means the blood group is of 4 types only, A, B, AB and O. But we are having a 6 genotypes. How? If we are having a genotype like this way, that is IA and IA, that is of allele A and A, the blood group is A. But if we are having a genotype IA and small I, again the phenotype of the blood group is A. So in this way, the A blood group is having a 2 genotypes but 1 phenotype. Fine. And similarly in the B, we are having a BB on the parent A and parent 2. The blood group is B. If the B is there and on the another we are having a small I, again the name is B. And if one parent is having the A, another is having the B, the name is AB. And no particular, you can say, the antigens are being present, then the name is O. Fine, the both are the recessive genes are present. So we are having a 4 phenotypes and 6 genotypes. With that we are having a 4 blood groups, A, AB, B and O. Crosses we will do later on. They are very important crosses. Next, the test cross. Test cross we have already discussed in our previous session. This is the cross which used to determine the genotype of an organism. So in this cross, the organism with the dominant phenotype, but the genotype is not known, is crossed with the recessive individual of your parent generation. So in monohybrid cross between violet flowers and the white flower, F1 was the violet color flower and they are being test crossed with the pure tall or the pure violet flowers. So we are getting here the violet color, that is the 100% violet is there. But if we are getting the F1, the genotype means hetero with the recessive, we are getting the 50-50% ratio, that is 1:1, that is violet and white flowers. I have already been discussed that if we are having a result of 1:1, it means the one of our parent is hetero and another is homo, that is recessive. ये आपको याद रखना है कि अगर हमारा रिजल्ट 1:1 है, it means the color, the dominant plant is basically hetero and the recessive is always in the homozygous, so it is 1:1. But if we are getting 100% dominant, means both are in the pure form. Fine. So this is the result of the test cross, that is 1:1 ratio when one of the parent is the hetero. The next very simple is, that is your paleotrophy. So what do you mean by the paleotrophy? Paleotrophy is the phenomena in which single gene exhibit the multiple phenotypic expression. Basically what we said, one gene controlled by one factor, but if a single gene is controlling more than one factors, more than one phenotypic expression, such type of the gene is known as the paleotrope or the paleotrophy. So paleotrophic genes affect the metabolic pathway and resulting in the different phenotypes. The example here they have given about the phenylketonuria, which is caused by mutation in the gene coding for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. The affected individual shows mental retardation, that is the one of the symptom. Along with that, they are also having the reduction in the hair and the skin pigmentation. So both the characters, both the expressions are being controlled by the single gene. Because of the one enzyme, these two symptoms are coming in the patient, or you can say in the disorder. Similarly, in the Drosophila, the gene for the wing size, they also influence the nature of the balancer, that is a color eye, then dorsal bistral, fertility and longevity. So, one gene is controlling the number of the phenotypic expression. Such type of the gene is called as the pleiotrophic gene, and the phenomena is known as the pleiotrophy. This is very important. Now, the next is your polygenic. So, what is polygenic? It is the type of inheritance in which the trait is controlled by 3 or more genes. We have discussed about monohybrid, in which the inheritance is controlled by 1 gene. Dihybrid, in which the inheritance is controlled by 2 genes. But the inheritance in which the trait is controlled by 3 or more genes, then it is called as the polygenic. As you know, poly means more than 2 or 3. The phenotype reflect the contribution of each allele, and they are also influenced by the environment. And the very common example we discuss about the polygenic is the human skin color, because we have a number of the phenotypic expressions or the colors of the human skin colors, and they are being controlled by 3 genes. The dominant is your capital ABC, and your recessive is small abc. And when the dark parent, they are crossed with the white parent, that is the recessive parent, they will get an intermediate color. The F2 generation will have the varied. You can see they are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So they will have the 64 progenies. So we are having basically the 8 gametes, and with the 8 gametes, 8 into 8, we will have a 64 progenies in the F2 generation, and that 64 progenies will give you the number of the varied colors. So we will have a darkest color, then we will have a 6 lesser, and 20 will be the intermediate of that. So that is the intermediate. So the F2 generation will have varied skin tones, with each type of allele in the genotype determining the darkness or the lightness of the color. If ABC, A capital, B capital, C capital, 1C small, the color is different. If both the C are small, then there will be another tone of the color. If intermediate is there only, we have already discussed the intermediate colors. So here we are having small a, small b, and both the C are capital. Again, the tone of the skin will be different. So in this way, we will have a various color of the skin tones, which each type of the allele in the genotype determine the darkness or the lightness of the skin. So with this, we have discussed about the various inheritances, in which we have discussed the monohybrid, we have discussed the dihybrid, we have discussed the 3 laws of the Mendel, that is your law of dominance, law of segregation, and then we discuss about the law of independent assortment, and then we discuss a few more phenomena which are deviated from the Mendel's law, or they are not obeying directly as that of the Mendel, that is incomplete dominance, which is very common in snapdragon with the red and the white flowers. Then the codominance, the best example of the codominance is ABO, blood grouping in the humans. Then we are having the pleiotrophy, or the, you can say, the pleiotrophic gene, which is controlling the single gene is exhibiting the multiple phenotypic expressions. And then we are having a polygenic inheritance, in which the trait is controlled by 2 or more genes. So in our next session, in this we have finished about the various inheritances, the laws of the Mendel's, and in our next session we will discuss about the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Till then, stay home, stay healthy. Thank you.